Welcome to the Great Debate Community Channel. Um, I am your host, John Peterson. You can find me here most Saturday nights. You can find me on a Raging Atheist channel most Wednesday nights. And as you can see in the description, we are here tonight as part of a marathon that's been going on for several days. Project Move the Odinsons. And we're joined tonight by Ansgar and Growly Odinson. Also by Puffalopagus and Nick Suter, and soon to be here will be the owner of this channel, Steve McRae. We also do have one spot open, so if there's anybody out there in the audience that would like to come on in, just tag the Great Debate Community in the chat, and we will get you a link. Let's start by talking to Ansgar and Growly for a couple minutes, and I'll just give you folks a couple minutes to explain what's going on here. I do know that I meant to ask you this before we went live. Ansgar, do you have mods in the chat on this channel?
Mandy MMM Media is definitely somebody who's worth modding. She's amazing. She's been doing everything she can to help us.
Well, and so does she have all the links?
Yes, she definitely has all the links. In fact, in most of our streams, she has been sending out links. So if you gave her the wrench, she'd be able to do that. And I really appreciate that, Mandy. If you would put the links in the chat.
Thanks in general, Mandy.
Yeah, let me get in here on my GDC account and give her a wrench. And so, folks, there'll be some links put in there. I know there's some items they're raffling off, link to their FundMe page. But go ahead, Growly and Ansgar, explain to us what it is that's going on in your life that we can help you with.
He's better at explaining than I am. I just handle the woo.
You handle my woo very well, babe.
With pleasure.
I'll try not to make this take too long, but it is kind of a long story. In fact, we could go further back. 2019 has been an absolutely brutal year. Brutal year. One of the worst things that happened was Growly had a minor heart attack this year. And we were told at the time that we didn't have insurance, that the insurance that we had was dropped. And we'd actually been informed just a few days before that the insurance had dropped us. And so we were shopping for new insurance when this happened. A social worker at the time, not even to get into all of the emotional carnage that happened, having had her have a heart attack and spent days in the hospital, but at the time a social worker filed for Medi-Cal, which is Medicaid in California, to help us out because, well, we're poor. And we were told we would have to wait and see, but they told us the chances were almost guaranteed that we would be getting Medi-Cal. The night she got home from the hospital, she had chest pains, and so we had to go right back into the hospital and racking up more medical bills that we were pretty much assured would be covered by Medi-Cal. And then she had another incident, which thankfully she didn't have to stay overnight. And then
when at work,
sometime later, I get a call from her boss that she's had a rather significant incident of chest pain, bad chest pain, like as bad as the first time, and that she is being taken by ambulance to the local hospital. So I get my emergency supplies together. By this time, I'm like a pro. I've got a bag already set aside just for these medical emergencies. And it's got her favorite clothes, it's got food, it's got everything. By the time I've got my stuff together, I get a call from her in the emergency room. She's sobbing. They've just told us she's just found out that they have denied her that day Medi-Cal. That means all of the bills that we have accrued this entire time. It means any bills for staying in the hospital this time are out of pocket. No help. So at that time, she was absolutely determined to leave the hospital. She was going to check herself out and go right back to work. No matter how much I told her that, no, you can't do that. That's what she was going to do. It was very lucky that we had some online amazing friends. I mean, some of you maybe even watching in the audience now who ganged up on her on Twitter and told her how much her life is worth and that the money will figure it out later. She stayed. We accrued more bills. It was another overnight stay. And so now we are under thousands and thousands of dollars of medical debt. Some people pitched in some money to help us out, and just enough to get a down payment, thankfully. So we were able to get in a down payment, which means that we now have monthly payments that we can sort of afford to keep from being completely decimated by this. We found out more recently that we are losing our home, and what our home is this room. It may, if you see right back there, there is a glass wall and sliding door. We are living in a covered porch. This is it's a balcony, but it's basically a covered porch. This in California for just this one room costs us over $800 a month. To give you an idea how expensive it is to live in California. The average rent of a room is $1,200 a month. So when we lose this, there's nowhere else we can afford to live. There is a friend who has offered to let us stay with her in Wisconsin. We're going to be paying rent, but albeit much less than we are here. In fact, my Patreon money can handle the rent and cost of living. And Growley has a chance to actually go to school and develop a career as a veterinarian while living there. This means everything to us, but there's a hiccup. Just recently, while recording for In Time, actually, we were on air. A texting motorist slammed into 5 parked cars, including ours. The front vehicle, a large truck, was moved 3.5 feet by this little BMW, along with the other 4 vehicles that it moved. It's done.
Just say that again. It was a driver who was doing what while they were driving?
Texting.
And we're talking a 2-lane road with half a car distance between the close lane and the parked car. So she completely came over an entire lane, basically, to hit these cars while texting. Now, California law only requires her to carry $5,000 in property damage insurance, which is what she was carrying. She's insured. I'm insured. But because of the way insurance works in California, that money, that $5,000, will be split between every single vehicle she hit.
Yep.
And because it kicks it into a completely different legal system, actually, because it's a multi-car accident, it means that it will be months, if not years, before we ever see any money for this. And when we do, it's not going to come close to fixing our vehicle.
Yep.
The reason this vehicle is important, we can't trade down to a junker, is because this is a very reliable vehicle. My mother gave it to us to make sure that it would cost us almost nothing. It's still under manufacturer warranty. So when, for instance, a year ago when we blew a piston, just a random breakdown, we were completely covered. They fixed the vehicle and even gave us a free rental. Obviously, it doesn't cover someone slamming into your vehicle, but it covers normal wear and tear, and that is vital to us. The other thing is that it's an incredibly reliable vehicle. We're talking, we need to take a road trip with all of our stuff all the way from California to Wisconsin, and we have to be able to survive Wisconsin winters with a reliable vehicle. Wisconsin, for people who don't know, there is no public transportation out in farm country where we're moving. And during the winter, if you break down, you can die. It's
There
lethal.
are blizzards.
Yes. Yes, it's absolutely vital that our car be reliable.
But there's also jobs there.
But there are jobs there. And my Patreon money will go much, much further. To give you an idea of what we're doing to get out of this, Growly here works full-time, even with her health problems right now, and cleans houses on the weekends. I work 60 hours a week as an independent artist and as the co-host of In Time, as well as side projects that bring in independent artist money. It is still not enough to live in California. We desperately need to get out. In fact, our mother-in-law pays for most of our groceries, and we still can't afford to live here. So we're reaching out for help. We need help. We need to get this car fixed, and we need to get out of California before we lose this room. Ideally, before there's even any pressure to hurry up and move out of
the nice thing about moving to Wisconsin and our friend is getting on our feet. We have the chance to act. Right now, we're having the problems that kids should be having just getting out of the house. Yeah. We've lived in this room for about 7 years, maybe a little longer. I lose track. In Wisconsin, I can get a job out there pretty easily, and the way the money, and almost making the same money I am now. We have the chance of living like adults and actually being stable and being able to help other people.
Because the cost of living is so much less there.
Yes. As my friend, Atheist Snail, who has really made all of this happen. In fact, she was the one that told me you have to start a fundraiser. She said this is a ladder out of poverty. That's what she's offering us, is a ladder out of poverty.
Well, and I know that Nick got in there and gave Maddie mods. I don't know if she's still around, but you do have mods now, Maddie. You could put those links in the live chat, or if you have those links.
I don't have them, but I could probably get them.
They are pinned to my Twitter profile. I can't get to the keyboard at the moment.
No, I'm kind of in the way.
Nick, he also put the links to the raffles and the GoFundMe are in that group chat that you started with the three of us.
Perfect. Let me go take a look there. That's I can get that done.
Yeah.
And then so we're having a raffle.
Right. And as I thought I saw, is tonight at some time on your channel you're going to be doing the drawings.
Yeah.
For those, right?
We don't know when it's going to be, when the drawing is going to be, and you don't have to be there to claim your prize. And the reason is because YouTubers are still coming in and saying, "Hey, we'll help you. We'll host another hour or two." Some of them have had to drop out because of their own personal emergencies, and that's completely understandable. So we're not quite sure when that's going to happen. But when you donate $25 or more to the charity, we have friends who have offered up basically raffle tickets in exchange, and they will give you raffle tickets to many of the items that they have donated. And I've donated some of my own art as well. They are original graphite drawings, and there's Steam games. There's a handmade crocheted blanket, not just any, like you actually pick. You pick the pattern and the color, and she makes it for you, and it will be there wherever you live by Thanksgiving, is what she says. So make a great Christmas gift. There's a homemade Rubik's Cube. And then there's another thing going on. It is a wonderful music creator here on YouTube has offered a YouTuber who donates a full suite of music, custom music tailored to their liking and their style and everything for their channel. We're talking intro music. We're talking,
waiting
music. Like the waiting to stream music, outros, whatever you want.
Ambiance music during the thing.
Yeah. Oh, and it's to the highest donor. Right now, the current high donor.
Well, hold on. He did say the minimum bids.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore because we already have a high donor.
Oh, fair enough.
So anyways, the current high donor is $300. That's Kylie Bear.
Mhm.
And so and it works kind of like an auction. Whoever and it's cumulative. So if you put in, let's say, 301 donation, you would be the high donor, and then she could add in a couple dollars and so on and so forth. So,
so what we're saying is like, so as far as who gets to pick first, you mean?
right? Well, the high donor is the one that gets the item. It's almost like an auction
For that
okay,
one
I see
thing.
what you're saying.
for the
Okay,
one
so
thing.
So when they make the donation, they check off what it is they're interested in, basically.
Correct.
Right.
okay.
If they're going for custom music, they write custom music. For everything else, there's actually item codes depending on what they want. And so if they donate $50, they could put in 2 item codes and get 2 tickets for 2 separate items, or they could put it in 1 item code and get 2 tickets for the same item.
There are video games that are being auctioned. There are Magic the Gathering. I'm sorry, correct, not auctioned. Words are hard. There's Magic the Gathering cards for raffle. There's an incredible X-Files limited edition, hand signed, numbered, with a certificate of authenticity poster.
There's a bunch of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So,
so the GoFundMe and the raffle are tied together. Then
Correct.
It's not
Yes.
two separate things.
Correct.
Oh, okay. You have Ansgar. Do you have any of your artwork at hand there that you could hold up to the screen and show folks?
I put it back in the box.
And
to protect it.
Ansgar, could we maybe not deplatform the channel in doing this? Just
Some
as
of
a
it is
request?
not safe for work.
only 2 of it's not safe for work. Only 2 pieces.
If you hand me the art box, I know where it is because I separated it from the rest.
Okay. I will show what I can show. Now you won't get
As good a picture doing this in front of the camera.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can actually, if maybe I can do a. I don't know how to do this stuff yet.
Here,
I think
Riggs is perfect, or one of Angel's.
show them this one.
Okay.
Gee, now I want to see the NSF.
So this
W.
one's really cool. This character is, her name is Angel, and it's fantastic considering Halloween is coming up.
Now, if you guys in your version of the Streamlabs that you're looking at, do you have? Does it say screen share somewhere?
Yes, I can share my screen.
Yeah, click on that and see if it'll make you guys go bigger.
Where is
when you
that,
pull
love?
that up.
Well, yeah, but that may that'll share what he's got on the donkey porn will come up if he does that. I
Hold
think
on,
maybe we
love.
should try to.
Before you do that, do you see over there that window? Just hand me the wireless mouse.
That's better.
So you can't white box them.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know how. I remember I had one guy on my other channel, Marty Tierspell, and he was able to screen share, and it actually kind of opened up another. It opened up like another window that I had to add to the broadcast, and then.
All right, let me see here. So share screen.
If he's got it on the
application. Oh, I know how I can do it. I can do it through Twitter. Whoops, come on. I'll separate out the Twitter. This will make it.
Do you need to close that?
Don't
no.
share our DMs, Ansgar. I'm just saying. We don't want anyone to know.
All right, so you want to see the art first? All right, so this will be censored. So there's not safe for work stuff, but it is censored. So you should be okay.
But what you get won't be.
What you get won't be.
What you got? Just
Okay.
we got to make sure everyone's clear on you're getting the full.
All right, let's see. Here we go. I think this will work.
Okay, so for instance,
Yeah, there we go.
There's one piece. Now, many of the pieces that you see here have some minor digital corrections because of the way graphite. This is all graphite art, but the way graphite art photographs is a little different. So there has to be some digital corrections. So they'll be free of digital corrections, and some of these you'll see have color in them, and the piece you get won't have color because again, it's graphite art.
And then of course the pictures the photographs don't do it justice. There's more detail once you see the actual piece then, right?
Yes.
Right. This is one of my favorites. So once again, you won't have the
color
involved.
Now you did. You also did the artwork for Inane Dragon, right? When he rebranded, you did his artwork, didn't you? Yeah.
Correct. I also did the moving background for if you've ever seen Nightmare Fuel's videos. It's got but yeah. So there's that one. There's this one here.
Hey, Puff, you still with us?
And there's the X-Files poster.
Yeah, I'm still with you, but I don't want to interrupt each other.
No, it's okay. I just was making sure we didn't drop you off the edge of the earth there, buddy.
Why don't you put that down?
There is the Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition. There is the homemade what do you call it?
Rubik's
Cube, which Atheist Snail might fight you for. There is the Liliana of the Veil Magic the Gathering card. These are certified pack fresh. Alucard assures me.
Apparently, according to Snail, we're not supposed to call it pack fresh or something else, but she doesn't remember what it is.
No, pack fresh is what we're supposed to call it. We're not supposed to call it excellent. Pack fresh is the correction.
Okay.
And then there's the Force of Will Magic the Gathering card. And these are all things donated by really wonderful people. And we've had a lot of people donate and not take any raffle tickets. And these people
raffle tickets, please.
Yes, and these people actually want to give these things away. It's like this is how they're helping. You know what I mean? This is how they want to contribute. So please take the cool goodies. There's Van Helsing Final Cut, Steam game. There is now this is a really cool one. Director AZ Arcater. He actually donated a
gift card.
Well, you will be his. He will make you a Steam friend, and he will gift you a Steam game of your choice worth up to $80 if you win.
Nice.
Project Zomboid only is if you want tickets for that. It's only a $10 donation because it's a less expensive Steam game, but it's like a little isometric zombie survival game. Seems pretty cool. I haven't played it myself, so I think that's all the
blanket. The blanket.
Oh, I have not done the blanket. And then there's the blanket. So you will pick your pattern, you'll pick your color, and it will be there for you.
Atheist Snail did say that if those are a little bit too frilly for you, she does have a few patterns that are less frilly.
Yeah, she will work with you on whatever pattern you want.
Or manly.
Yes. Yeah. You can have a manly blanket.
A manly quilt.
All right.
I would like the quilt that one might make for Maximus Aurelius. That's what I want. I want his quilt.
So quilt with a scabbard attached to it. Got it.
I think that's right. Yeah, you got it. Perfect.
Yeah. So to everybody in the audience, so Nick has put the links in there one time, and I'm sure he'll do that again as we go on. So please click on that link. You see some of the stuff that you have a chance to win. But of course, that's not the motivation to help. But that's nice that you may win a prize. But that's what part of being a community is about. When members of our community need our help, we need to reach out and help them. It sounds like if they can just, get this little bit of help and get cross country to their destination, that, as Growley said, they'll be able to put their life on track and be in a position to help others when they need it. So, pay it forward.
One of the things that we're doing is we're learning from this, how best to do these. And me and a wonderful, wonderful person who has really helped us out a lot are considering and talking about how to do it, starting a channel just to help people out like this.
Oh, wow. So now we're not here to just talk about this, but this is the main thrust of it tonight. But actually, Growley has brought a presentation with her. She's going to entertain us with and educate us as well about fortune telling and things of that nature, kind of a la James Randi and his debunking of supernatural things and fortune tellers and what have you. So, Growly, are you ready to do that?
I am.
Okay.
To give you a little background on me, I worked at the Renaissance Fair for, I think close to 20 years now. I think about how old my kids are, and I think it's close to 20 years. And 10 of those years, I managed a spiritual shop, which meant it was my job to...
Hand me the mouse. Keep talking. Hand me the mouse.
It was my job to convince you that incense, stones, and things of that nature were magic and take your money. And no, I don't believe in a damn bit of it. But a lot of people do. In fact, I was able to sell this shit to Christians.
It is amazing how easy it is with a few techniques to convince people that ordinary, everyday objects are magical. Seriously.
One of the reasons I put on so much makeup and jewelry tonight is that's part of selling this shit. It's the ambiance. It's the what you put forward and the confidence that people say behind it. You say anything with confidence and pretty much someone's going to believe you. That's one of the, and how people, for instance, incense. It's all part of the sales pitch. They package it in these pretty little fancy bottles that look like something out of an alchemy cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
The incense comes in different colors, and some of it's gold and sparkly, and somehow the smoke helps clean the air.
Well, and they print these vague, very, very vague magical, properties on the bottles that you can really interpret however you want, which makes it really easy to make these sales.
I mean, I have these lovely incenses in these neat little bottles like this, and they look like something right out of a magic cabinet. And that, how magic is fun. The idea of it is fun. Why do you think everybody loves Harry Potter?
Yeah.
And you present these things in this way, and it's really cool. For instance, I brought a pendulum. Now, I would sell hundreds of these a day, including to Christians. And this was the sales pitch. I'd just be sitting there.
Well, let's do a little bit of role play, because what I found really amazing is how easily you tailored your pitch.
All right, well, hold on, because if you guys are going to role play, I'm going to start the recording thing up. I want to hold on a sec. I'm just going to let me get that started. You can go. We're recording.
It's already been being recorded.
Okay, I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm involved.
It's amazing how easy it is to tailor this sales pitch depending on somebody's previous beliefs, and how easy it is to read them. You know what I mean? So,
right. Well, I have a suggestion. All right. First, let me turn that off. Here's my suggestion. Since you two know one another so well, what if she was to role play with another volunteer?
Ooh.
And I volunteer Puffaluppagus.
I like that one. Puff, you're up.
Puff.
Okay, kids.
Puff.
So I'm gonna really have to role play this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So all the hard work.
So go ahead, Growly. You drive the bus, and Puff, you play the role of a person that's being duped.
So, you come up to the booth, and then I'm playing with this cool little rock. I'm like,
Hey, what's that?
This is a pendulum. Have you ever? Are you have any experience with stones or pendulums?
No. What's a pendulum?
A pendulum is a rock on a chain. It's actually really simple, and it can help you answer basic questions, find lost items, and this is just a tool. This is actually works with the energy in your body and your own intuitiveness to help you figure out the answers that you need to that you probably already know, that you just don't know that you know. And the way that it works, you're going to hold it like so. You're going to close your eyes and try to clear your mind of all that stress and everything. You're going to run your hand down the chain like so. You want it as still as possible. And you need a baseline reading. So you're going to ask which way is right or yes, which way is no. As you can see, it swings 2 different directions. Now that can change from day to day. That's why you always have to have that baseline reading. Your energies are constantly fluctuating. Depending on what's going on in your life and things like that, they fluctuate. So you always have to have your baseline reading. Once you establish your yes or no, you can ask a yes or no question, or even like say you lost your car keys. You can't remember where your freaking car keys are. You do the same thing, and it'll swing in the direction of where your car keys are, and you can follow it. Now, each stone, it's different, just like each person is different. And you really need to find the stone that works with you. So I have several different stones here on the counter. I don't want you to pick the pretty stone. I don't want you to pick the stone that you just think that, oh, I like amethyst. That may not be the right stone for you. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to run your hand all over. And you're just going to go to the one that draws you, the one that you feel most drawn to. And that's the stone that you're supposed to have. Now, as you use this, everybody has bad days, right? Everyone has stress in their life. Your stone is going to pick that up, and you're going to need to cleanse that on occasion. And there's several ways of doing that. They're really easy. You can put it on a bed of salt overnight, running water, run it through certain incense smoke. There's different incenses that are really good for cleansing. And the same thing is recommended. Like if you want to let a friend use it, that's fine. Let a friend use it. But you don't want them to leave their spiritual mark on it. So if you let someone else use it, you're going to want to clean it again. Would you like to try it? I mean, it's really, really easy.
Sure.
Now, if I could pause in there, I want to point out a few things that she did. And the first is when she described how it works, right? She gave a completely non-committal answer. She said the answers are coming from you, basically. So if you're a Christian, you haven't been scared off by paganism. If you're a pagan, you've just been like all of your previous notions have been confirmed of this is magic. No matter if you're into psychic stuff, that it's confirmed that by leaving this completely non-committal answer, she has now left you open to interpret what she says however you want to.
Now, if you're a Christian, you go, is this witchcraft? Did God make the stones?
I've heard her do this.
Well, of course he did. Well, then how can this be evil? If God made this, how is it evil? God is guiding you, and he's guiding this.
I also like, if you look at her face while she's talking, I did not say, what? Where did that come from? I don't, we can take that down. I don't know. That's been faked. That's fake. I would not say such a crass. John, you and I are going to have a conversation when this stream is over. I'm just saying. So if you look at her face while she's talking about this, she really does have, actually, she also has almost a bit of a mean face, actually. It's a very like, I'm in command and in control face, but it's almost a little mean. Like, who do you think you are to be even? I know what I'm doing. It's kind of this dominating. It's a little evil.
It's the stern school marm look.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Now, the other thing that she's done is something that any salesman does. She's just said, if you really want to continue using this rock that I gave you, now you need to go buy incense to continue using this rock.
Mm-hmm. And people will ask me,
Get
well,
the upsell.
isn't incense, isn't that witchcraft? I said, well, think about it. Frankincense and myrrh, isn't that in the Bible? That's incense.
Mhm.
It's natural tree sap. It's natural resins. These are natural things. And everything from nature, God created these things. How in heaven's name could these things be bad if God made them?
Yep.
It's in his book.
She's good.
and
She'd be good.
then they step over to the incense section where she can start describing these vague magical properties, which aren't magical properties. They're natural properties if you're a Christian. They're magical properties if you're if you believe in magic. And so you had a bad day with your stone. Well, this is the incense that you need, only she'll do it much better than I will.
So
I don't think Puffalopagus though has had any bad days when he was stoned.
Well, that's why she said you
wrong.
need the incense just to cover the weed scent.
People will come up and they'll go, I can see you looking at that stone. It's calling you, isn't it? I can tell that's the one you need. That's the one that you're supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, she's
And
scaring
see,
me.
to me, like I didn't even like worry about all the other stuff she was saying, right? So like to me, it was an NLP segment right there. So that was a lot of elements in there when what would be used in neuro-linguistic programming, right? So she set up a brain process, then she interrupted the brain process, then she directed it to the message that she wanted, and then she so better way to explain it to people. So she set up a brain process. She set somebody up on a line of thinking, and then she interrupted that line of thinking, inducing an instant trance. She reinforced the trance with the stone when she was moving it, right? Okay. And then she just directed them into a purchase. So, but me, I was looking for it. So I was like, I gotta really kind of, act this one because it raised my hackles as soon as I was like, oh, I've seen this. I know this one.
These things are really fun too. They're really tricky. Now, when I did this, and I'm stilling the chain so that people think that now it's still, it looks like my hand is perfectly still when I do this. Which way is yes? Which way is no? And they think that it's moving on its own. They really do. And then they do it and they've convinced themselves.
Yeah.
They see me do it and bullshit.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying that even when they take the chain, they convince themselves it's moving on their own?
Yes.
Yes. I have seen people doing this with their hands, saying it's moving on its own. People saying your hand's moving. No, it's moving my hand. They have themselves convinced.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it only.
Feel the power in I can feel the connection. I can feel a tingle in the palm of my hand.
It sounds like it only works on stupid people, but I would like to know where to buy those.
Oh, it's easy. Internet.
Oh, perfect. Well, do you have any for sale? I don't trust any of them, but I will certainly buy a couple from you if you have them.
Wait a minute. I heard it sounds like only stupid people would be fooled by that, and then I heard you ask. I heard you asked to buy one.
Yeah, but the stone's calling me. This is different. This is different.
People come up and tell me that stone, I feel like it's speaking to me. I know.
John, don't say the next line. I know what your next line is. Don't say it.
You heard it here, folks.
What, you need a therapist?
No, that Nick just came out as stupid.
See, I said don't say it, John. I knew that was where you were going with that.
And these things, they have their meanings that are so generalized. Incredibly generalized. They have every stone has
a litany
multiple
of
meanings. Multiple. And so you can decide, oh yeah, I can totally understand that fits me. I see that fits what I need. I have had people where I've come up, we sold things that they called medicine bags, where they would put a bunch of different rocks, each rock, I had bins of rocks with their little names and meanings. And they come up to me and said, I need to get pregnant. I haven't been able to get pregnant. And there's this stuff going on in my life. And I got you.
I could see 5. I've watched 5 different people put the exact same stones in the exact same bags and walk away with 5 completely different meanings in their heads of what the power of that pouch will be.
Once I have you, it's like, okay, I need you to take this little pouch, this little leather bag, just put it on your hand. Now, I know that you need carnelian. You need some healing in your life. I can feel the stress. I want you to put your hand, close your eyes, because there's a whole bunch of them in there. Put your hand in the little box of all the carnelians and feel around in all those stones. That's right. I want you to feel around. Which one of those feels like the one that's calling you? Which one feels like your fingers are most directed to? That's the one. Now put that in your little bag. Now
let me pause here. There's a trick that's at play here. Once you put an object in somebody's hand, they immediately emotionally identify that as theirs, even though it's not really, even though they intellectually know it's not, they haven't paid for it. It is harder emotionally to put something down that you want. And so what the way that she's making them interact with these objects, handing them the pendulum, making them try it, making them put their hand in the box and pull these stones out. It's all about putting the item in their hand, putting it in your hand, so that you will have an emotional investment in not putting that back down.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Well, and just a reminder to folks, the reason we're here tonight and the reason that Growley is giving this presentation is that temporarily the Odinsons' fortunes have turned, okay? And we want to turn that back around. Nick, if you get a moment when you come back to the keyboard, if you would post the links in the live chat once again, please.
Absolutely.
But they have
playing with all these balls has done nothing for us.
and what a surprise that is. Did you guys happen to try prayer?
We haven't, but we have in the past, and it hasn't exactly worked. So,
Which God? I've got them all.
But you didn't combine the prayers with thoughts. That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we forgot
thoughts and prayers.
Damn it!
You weren't sincere in your heart when you did it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I've even had
I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, before you ask your question,
Yeah,
let me finish what I was about to say. So Nick's going to put some links in the live chat here. They have a GoFundMe going on to get their vehicle fixed, and they're saddled with some pretty heavy medical bills. If they can get their vehicle fixed, they can move across country to where it'll be a hell of a lot cheaper to live. They have a friend that is offering a place to stay. And if you go to the GoFundMe page, if you donate, you also get a chance to win one of the raffle items, artwork, different games that people have. There's a quilt that someone did, and actually you can pick the kind of quilt that you want. So, look for those links in the live chat, and please help these folks as much as you can. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, so my question was for Growley. Obviously, this has sort of immediate practical use when these techniques. Can they be expanded into other areas? And in particular, one of the things I'm thinking about is, have you ever, for example, now it's obvious to Ansgar knows some of these. Have you ever helped him? And if you have you ever helped him in, say, business matters, including but not limited to partnerships, where perhaps these techniques could be used nefariously? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, if I
okay, the stuttering is not good. I don't feel good hearing that. I'm losing confidence rapidly. Oh, look, she's doing the eyes. She's doing the eyes. Do not tell me she's not doing that. She's trying to get me to shut up. It's probably going to work too, because that's kind of scary. Okay.
Some people just need to disappear, Nick.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I see a long trip in your future.
I think Growley just put a curse on you, Nick.
I think she may have. I think this turned dark fast, man. Sean, I'm not coming to your hangouts anymore, dude. I'm just saying. Now I'm hexed. Oh my God. And on top of, apparently I'm stupid. Thank you, John.
Hey, I didn't say that. You did.
Yeah, you had to point it out. You had to highlight it. Grab a two-tone highlighter and just be like, oh, everybody, hey, let's re-announce. Thanks.
Well, let me. Is there more to that presentation you wanted to share, Growly? Or
Well, I mean, I have a few other things on the counter, but it's all the same stuff. I mean, I've got rattlesnake bones that people believe in. I've got bones from a bird. People believe in that crap. I've got
sage and feathers.
I assume those are real bird bones.
Yeah,
yeah.
Real
Okay,
rattlesnake bones. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so is that like where you throw the bones down on the table and then read something from it?
Mm-hmm. And that's all about just saying things with confidence and saying and keeping it vague
tarot
enough.
Okay, tarot cards, same shit. You can sit there and put these out and just everybody will have a different meaning for pretty much the exact same card as long as it sort of goes with the picture.
Yeah.
Well, right, and I've noticed that myself when I've seen different tarot readers is that there's always seems to be a different story behind the same cards, depending on what
right.
tarot reader
the death card can come up and they can say, oh, this, because it's with this other card, it means the death of a relationship.
Or it's inverted, so actually you're avoiding something terrible. It might just mean something bad. But because it's inverted, it means that thing, because of this card, you're avoiding that.
Or they'll tell you, now if you take my advice, you will avoid the bad thing that's coming. And so you take their advice and a meteor doesn't fall on your house, and all of a sudden you think, oh, they predicted it and I was able to avoid it.
And if you look up the meanings of these stones, every single website for the most part is slightly different. There is no one uniform meaning for any of this stuff. Therefore, bullshit.
Well, what it all comes down to, I'll be quite honest, and here's another psychological element at play here, is the power of suggestion. Hey, Steve.
Hey. Sorry, I was running late. I said I was going to pop by, so I kept good on it, but I was running really, really late. I was in another feed that I had promised I'd be on too. Hi.
Hey.
I was just going to tell you guys, there was a day at my job. I work. Fuck it. I'm not going to be working there long anyways. I work at Universal Studios in Hollywood. And one of the days we were filming for an ad. And we all down with the dinosaurs. We had to keep people away from that. And they were filming with the dinosaurs and back. And people come up, and 3 people that day did not believe me when I said this. And this is the same shit as what I'm doing here. They go, oh, what's going on back there? We're filming a nature documentary on the mating habits of the velociraptor. Oh my God, that's really? Can we go watch? No, I'm afraid not. They get very aggressive when they're in heat, and we don't want them not to make the camera. And they're like, what?
And you
so they're like kind of like lions. Yeah, I think they did actually use some of that DNA because they didn't have full DNA strands when they. When's this going to be out? I can't remember. It's like 6 months or to a year. Keep an eye on Discovery or Animal Planet. I can't remember, but it'll be on one of those two.
And here's the thing. When you put yourself in a place like behind a booth or something where you have this authoritative presence, and then you say something with authority and with confidence, you can, the vast majority of people who walk up, you can say whatever you want. In fact, you can pick up something that has the properties listed on it and say completely the opposite. But because you said it with confidence, they nod along. There are people, I have seen people who have been priestesses for like 20 years come up, and she said exactly the opposite of everything they believe, and they nod along and they act as if they've always believed that.
Isn't that what every YouTuber does? We're just talking to Mike.
Well, every YouTuber, but what I was going to say is it sounds an awful lot like televangelists.
Yes,
it's the same shit. I've had people come up to me and they're talking about the incense and stuff, for instance, and it's like, oh yeah, we had that at church. Of course you did.
Well, and I'm sure everybody here is, Steve's around a little bit younger than I am. I'm sure he's seen it 1,000 times on TV. A television preacher, telling people, hey, you might have your last $100 in the bank, but send it to me and you'll get it back tenfold,
Peter Popoff does that. As a matter of fact, I remember back in the day, I always thought Peter Popoff was a scam artist. I mean, way back in the 80s. And I was kind of shunned a little bit for that. People thought that, you're just, anti-Christian or anti-God or whatever. And I'm like, no, he's a con man. Even as a teenager, I would recognize that. But, he has this thing called Miracle Spring Water, which he doesn't sell. So he's not breaking any laws. But what he tells you is you send him, whatever it is, money. He'll send you this miracle water and have enough faith. You'll get your back tenfold and get all this money. And, it's such a scam. But people still buy in it because people are gullible.
Well, it's the same thing. You're buying rocks to change your fortune. She's telling you, give me money. I will give you these rocks. Your fortunes will change. Now, the only thing that I can say that is legit, if people want to lose weight and buy a bunch of rocks, you buy enough rocks and carry them around with you. They actually will help you lose weight.
Just from the sheer weight of carrying them around.
You're burning more calories.
That's right.
Put it in the bottom of your purse, put it in your pockets, both sides, you want it equal. You're going to lose some weight.
So Growly, how much do you know about cold reading, hot reading? What's the difference, and how much would someone employ doing this?
I don't know really the difference. I just
she's just a natural. I can tell you.
Hey, Growly.
She does a ton of both cold and hot reading, and she doesn't even realize she's doing it.
Hey, Growly, you want to know my dirty little secret?
I don't need you to tell me your dirty little secret.
This is only for her, though. You guys got to go.
Okay, yeah, I turned it off already, Steve. I can hear you.
So let me tell you my dirty little secret. I used to actually do chiromancy, and not in a way that I would convince. I would actually tell people it's bullshit, right? I'm not trying to defraud anybody, but I would be very good at explaining to people their fortune. Chiromancy is palm reading. That was my vehicle for doing cold and hot reads. I got pretty deep. As a matter of fact, I had people would tell me, "Oh, you know what? Even though you say this is a trick, I think you have some latent abilities, something that you don't realize that you're actually psychic, but you're just not realizing. But you're channeling it this way because you kind of want to show people it's not true. But in the reality is you're actually having a psychic ability." And I'm like, "No, that's not what's going on. I've seen this." I'm just picking up on clues. I'm just reading things. I'm picking up on things I've heard, what I see, just doing general statements relating to the average person's psychology. But yeah, I used to do a lot of this palm. Going back to where I used to live, people knew about this with me. They're like, "Hey, Steve, do this, do the trick." And I'm just like, it is a trick, but it's not really that hard to learn how to do it. And I actually would read palm reading books, and so it sounded like legit to people that kind of like, Girl Venus. And
in what context would you do it? Like you just do it at parties and stuff, or
just bars to get women? I love that shit, man.
Gee, I see that you're going home with me tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
You want to be loved a long time.
You want to be loved and cared for. You have, you seem to have some daddy issues.
So some examples of some cold and hot reads that she would do, right, is someone walks up and they're looking at the stones. She could see in their face if they're a little nervous or apprehensive. Oh, that's probably, someone who's Christian and they're thinking, oh my God, this might be witchcraft stuff, but they think the stones are pretty. So she knows exactly how to approach them. If she sees somebody who is, she's got her, big pentagram on her chest, now you've got the hot read. Oh, okay, she wants to believe in this stuff. This is going to be even easier.
It's the same thing as we sold, like D&D dice made out of stones. If somebody comes up with a D20 shirt, sure as hell I'm selling them some dice.
And given the presentation that you folks have given today, and I was surprised that you didn't know who that person was, but when you get a moment, put in the YouTube search engine James Randi and check out some of his stuff, because he even has, as somebody posted in the chat earlier, he has $1 million challenge.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do it anymore.
Oh, okay, but he did for many years have $1 million challenge.
The funder no longer has that up for.
Okay. Where if someone could demonstrate something supernatural, that they could win $1 million. Many people tried and horribly failed.
How would you obliterated people?
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. How would you answer this though? if if you're showing people gemstones or something like that, let's say you talk about like onyx is good for stress or something, and somebody asks you the question, what imbues the rock with that particular attribute? What describes it to be the case that onyx happens to be good for stress?
It's the mineral in it. Each mineral resonates at a different frequency.
Mhm.
And those frequencies allow it to absorb certain things.
So there's a frequency for stress.
Yes, there is.
There's a stress frequency.
There's a stress frequency.
Now,
You can measure
Steve,
stress.
No hesitation. No
but see,
hesitation. Just-
Steve, someone like you,
On the ball.
I've seen her do this. Someone like you who was more, she could tell is more critical. I've seen her do this. Would say, well, it's just a psychological response to a stone that you like. We have certain colors that we are more likely to psychologically respond to. So it's just a natural psychological response.
It's calming. It's a calming effect.
Yes.
Well, obviously, this is bullshit, but what it is good for is a focus while you meditate. It just gives you something mentally to focus on.
I use porn for that.
Yeah, you're
but
watching.
then she's gonna put it in your hand. She already talked about. She puts it in your hand.
Once again, Nick.
Hold on. Steve, you are watching porn wrong if you're meditating.
Yeah.
I think you got the wrong goal.
So Maddie
I-
just popped back in the chat, and she posted the GoFundMe link again. Again, the reason we're here tonight, folks, is to help Growley and Ansgar with the problems that have been thrown down in front of them as of late, being their car smashed by some idiot who was driving and texting, and some really heavy medical bills. They're trying to get cross country where a friend has offered to have a place for them to rent and stay, which will be a lot cheaper than living in California. We're here to help them. Please go to that GoFundMe link that Maddie just posted. It's also in the video description. It's all part of being part of a community. We're all part of a very large community, made up of many different types of people. There's atheists, agnostics, theists. We're all part of this big community, and part of being in a community is helping our fellow community members out. Boy, that's a mouthful. When it's needed. And I'd like to put a question to everybody one at a time. Let's start. Well, I'll just go right across the screen here as I'm looking at it. Let's start with Puff. Puff, what does it mean to you to be part of a community?
You feel integrated, part of it. You can reach out for help, but not only that, you can reach out for advice. You can trust people's criticism, to be honest. I know that's one thing that I like about this community, and also they support you, they inspire you, they push you to do better. If you need a little help, like in this case, they're out there to help you. You know what I mean? They're at least gonna rally for your cause and get more ears to hear what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I don't have any money to help out, but at least I'm here. Trying to put my face to it as much as that matters. I guess I'm the resident stoner, but that's my job. But and the king of random facts. But other than that, I guess that's all I can really bring to it.
Even though I'm not smoking at the present time, I'd put myself in that category right with you, Puff, as a stoner. Steve, what does community mean to you, buddy?
Well, first, when you guys are moving, you be heading down this area at all on your way out, or
we plan on doing because of how many people have helped us out. We're planning on doing a big vlog, and we want to vlog the entire trip, and we want to make as many stops to as many YouTubers that have helped us out and have been, even just the kind words and stuff.
I would be down the 15 from you.
Yeah, so we would love to stop by, and in fact,
right.
if we could just
you're gonna meet Steve before I do. This is revenge for Sweet, and you know it. You know it.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. But as far as community, there's the greater community, then there's the smaller communities and subsets of communities, and then I have the Great Debate community, which I started to be such that a whole bunch of people from different beliefs and different things to get together and have discussions. And from that, channels could grow from there. Now, obviously, because things happened, I neglected the GDC and I started with, non sequitur and stuff like that. But the goal was for as you asked about community, is to have a group of people like-minded that want to build themselves, build up other people, have great conversations. Like Puff said, be able to talk to each other, rely on each other, honest, decent people. When you're dealing with so many people, unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. You have to weed out some bad elements. But to me, a community is people that you can just rely on, and they're gonna be around. People like to have these conversations, and you say, okay, well, who am I gonna have this conversation with? The people in the community, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on G+, well, that's no longer around. We used to be, whether it be on Facebook or Twitter. There's a connective thing that has all these people from different walks of life joining them together. And I think that's kind of the core community, because you'll find that the core community may not necessarily be the Great Debate community per se, even though I'm going to try to revitalize that a little bit. But if the core community is the same people that are watching other people's channels and supporting them and say, oh, they're having that debate tonight, let's go watch, let's be in their live chat. I do the same thing. If I see something of interest and I go, oh, there's something I want to watch, I go watch it. Oh, throw a couple bucks, a couple super chats. That's what I find to be very, when I talk about the meaning of community, that's how I refer to it.
Nick, how about you, buddy?
I have no idea. I believe it or not, I'm not much of a community guy, and I, for the most part, haven't been. The reason I chose to be a writer, I think, is because I enjoy it, and I think because you can do it alone. I have been a hermit most of my life. I don't enjoy engaging with other people very much. It sounds like that's probably not true, but it is. It's only recently that I've found I enjoy it, usually only with a very small group of people. I hang out. That I've had a community is a brand new thing to me, and I'm still a little uncomfortable with the notion. I don't go to the PTO. I don't go to I spend as little time really outside as possible with other people. I've always been a bit of a misanthrope most of my life. So wow. I don't know what and I am going to say I am unfortunate I need to get going, because speaking of not wanting to go out and engage with people, somehow I ended up modding.
You got to moderate tonight.
I got to moderate modern day debates. I'm moderating two guys going at it. So I'm going
Nick, basically.
Wait, that's right.
Really?
I forgot tonight.
Phrasing.
I forgot I'm monitoring.
So Nick, we're basically.
Hold on. Let me get this out, man. So Ponytail Guy is going against the Jordan Peterson sycophant, right?
I wouldn't phrase it that way, but that's shorthand.
That's the way I'd phrase it.
Nick, you basically called us a community of misanthropes. Okay,
right.
That's what it almost seems to be. I'm not sure how that works.
All introverted misanthropes. Okay. By the way, I'm a friend. A friend is forever. Adam, I like the guy. I think he goes hyperbolic sometimes, and I think he goes to extremes. But he's not a dumb guy.
He's really
really smart. Actually,
I said this debate is against by Adam Friended, who's extraordinarily smart, and I think I said something else positive. And then against Vosh, who has a phenomenal understanding of these topics and a very deep well to draw from. And then I got pushback going like, wow, you're being really charitable. I was just like, what? I don't think
Forever smart. He's just, he says some dumb things, don't get me wrong. But on certain topics, he can hold his own. He really
Nick, first rule of the internet, you know that you have to have an incendiary title for each one of your guests that shows contempt for both of them.
Well, hey, speaking of that thread on Twitter, though, I didn't understand you when you said something positive about both of them. And despite my comment, both of those individuals are intelligent. I disagree with a lot of what Adam Friended says, but he certainly is no dummy. But I didn't understand the blowback they gave you was you were giving too much credit to Horseboy. Who was Horseboy?
Oh, I thought he called me Horseboy. I thought I was Horseboy, and he was you're giving too much credit, Horseboy. So I guess I'm Horseboy, and I'm giving too much credit to one of those two, or maybe both. I don't know, but
because he's hung like a horse.
It's going to be.
Isn't it right now?
I am starting to really like
I've heard
Rowley
you guys
more.
talking.
How could you not? I keep
Well, she
telling her.
hexed me earlier. She hexed me, and then she was talking about getting naked and running hands over each other. No, it was closing our eyes and running our hands over, and it was getting weird. But
I think Ansgar's artwork affected.
Does she does healing treatments like that, like Reiki or something?
Massage stuff like that. I've been DMing her, but she doesn't reply. I don't know what to.
Before we get too far beyond it, I want to hear from Ansgar and Growly what they have to say about it.
I'll wait for that, and then I gotta go. But I do want to hear that.
Well, I would say that over these last few days, especially, we were at the most stressed we've ever been in our lives, and a bunch of amazing people came together to cheer us up, to have conversations with us, to try and help us. They have raised over half of the money we need to get the hell out of here. They have kept our spirits up. To me, that's what I think of as community right now, is, the people you didn't even know gave that much of a shit about you. The people you didn't even know cared that much. The people you didn't even know you may have touched in a way that is not inappropriate. And
I wouldn't know what that's like.
I think some of them want to be touched that way, though.
But it's these kind of people that have a joke or a kind word or remind you of some nice thing that you did for them over a year ago that they are eager to pay back now that we're in trouble. That to me is what community is all about right now.
Awesome. And so, Nick, 9:30 that starts then, right?
9:30 that starts.
Now, did they push that back? Because it was supposed to be at 9.
Well, actually, I think he wanted to move it to 9. He hasn't hit me up with a.
Okay, because I'm doing Rum and Coke tonight at 7 my time, which is 10 Eastern. I already pushed it back.
He wanted to push it forward, but I haven't heard about pushing it forward. So it's 9:30. He wanted to push it to 9.
I was just over there.
Step on you a little bit then. Sorry.
I just was over there a little bit ago, and in the live chat, he had confirmed it's starting at 9:30.
Yeah, so
right.
I pushed mine back already. I mean, I can push it back a little bit more.
Don't push it again.
But I got Landon coming in at 7. So, but anyways, you can join afterwards.
I look forward to it. I will be there. Good luck, and everyone, please donate. And
thank you so much.
Hey, Nick, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, man.
John. Thank you, guys.
Growly and Ansgar, you guys going to be? Yep, and I'll watch that later on. You guys dropping by the Rum and Coke night?
If we're invited,
Do you want me to send it to you through snail mail and give you the link or something?
Sure, snail mail. Do it.
Put a little stamp on it or something.
Yeah,
the way Rum and Coke has always worked is you just show up and you ask for a link in chat.
Yeah,
what are you using StreamYard?
No, because I can only do 6 people on StreamYard.
What is the other thing you've been using that you can get more people in on?
You can use Hangout and stream with OBS, which I'm considering, or Google Meets, which will going to be free eventually, but I don't have that right now tonight. That's a good question. What am I going to use tonight? I'm probably going to use Google Hangouts because that's 10 people. I don't expect more than 10 people to show up.
Somebody was trying to explain to me that you can still use Google Hangouts. I think it might have even been Ansgar was explaining.
As long as you have OBS, you can use Hangouts.
Okay.
Yeah, you just treat it as an input source.
Yeah,
that's all.
And then, so that's 10 o'clock tonight. You're going to be doing that 10 o'clock Eastern, then, Steve, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to be, and I've already started. I'm drinking scotch right now.
Well, I was going to ask too. What are you drinking? Some scotch? You're usually not that big of a drinker. You're going to get all sloshed before it starts.
How do you get drunk off scotch? I sip it, I don't really even get a buzz off scotch because I drink it so slowly.
Yeah, to me, scotch is you have to, you know what I mean, to really enjoy it. You gotta sip it nice and slow and just kind of. I don't know. I don't understand how anyone can just guzzle down a bunch of scotch.
Because they're trying to get fucked up.
I give it to. I have a new roommate, and I gave him some scotch because he had some nasty stuff and some nasty skunk beer that he bought. It's like, no, if you want to drink, try some nice scotch. And I gave him like half a finger of scotch, and he downs it. I'm like, that was like 15, 20 sips for me right there. But whatever.
Yeah, I noticed
some decent food and they inhale it without tasting it.
Yeah, I noticed some of the
scotch to me is really a sipping drink.
Mhm.
No, I've noticed on different rum and coke nights I've been to that, Steve just sips it. Like I've seen him hold bottles up and then hold the same bottle up like a week later, and it's still
It's
got
got
quite
about
a
that
bit
much.
left.
Yeah, I drink about that much rum. So guys, I got dark rum, I got spice rum, and then I have this still bottle of Johnny Walker Black that was bought to me how many months ago. So I mean, I'm not a big drinker. It's just occasionally I like to have something to relax.
I just got it. I just dawned on me when Growly said something about the food. So it's idiots like me that I'm like, oh, food's not to be enjoyed. It's because I'm hungry, right?
Hell
It's to
no,
make me
man.
not hungry.
I love
So the
good
alcohol
food.
isn't to be enjoyed. It's just to make me drunk.
I like good food. I like the way it's presented. I like the way it smells. I like the way it tastes.
Would
Yeah.
you call yourself a foodie?
No, I said an idiot. I called myself.
I
an
know the
idiot.
difference between a good meal and a not so good meal, if that's what you're asking. I mean, I can go and say, okay, this is something that actually was prepared by an actual chef, as opposed to somebody like doesn't know what the hell they're doing. There's a different taste with real food when food's prepared by an actual chef. It is not the same as going to McDonald's or something. It just tastes different. I mean, you can tell
I
flavor
can taste
profiles.
the difference.
Yeah.
It's just I just still wolf it down regardless.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Nah. I want to enjoy it, to be quite honest. The only time I ever wolf food down is when it's like, oh man, I haven't eaten in hours. I'm freaking hungry now.
Or I know I need to be somewhere like 5 minutes ago, and I've got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd eat quickly because of the Navy. You have to eat quickly. You have to down your meal in 20 minutes. You know, you fine Navy chow. You got to you eat it and you go.
Well, you
But-
also need to get it down quickly so you don't taste it.
You know what? I gotta admit, Navy food was good. I have no complaints. I really liked the food. I didn't have any problems with it. It's a little bland, but for the most part, it's still pretty good.
And it was hard if you guys working on a ship like that. I imagine they gave you nice big helpings too.
Oh yeah. You didn't go hungry in the military. You get to eat.
So that backdrop behind you, Steve, is that what Landon's going to be talking about tonight?
No, it's bring your own topic. I figure he's probably going to talk about the comet that's a hyperbolic trajectory that they discovered. Maybe some other stuff he might want to talk about, some volcanism stuff. I don't know. He bought some real Coke tonight to actually have rum and Coke, so he's really excited.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the other kind of real Coke.
He's from he probably did in the 70s. Who knows with him? But no, I don't know.
Well, and did anybody see in the news that yesterday? Is it today? Today's the 14th, right? Yeah. So yesterday, 3 different asteroids passed within. They were all within like 0.05 astronomical units from Earth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
At different times.
That's still quite a distance, though.
Yeah, millions of miles. Still millions of miles.
That's insane.
And yet, on Friday the 13th, they didn't hit us.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Well, because there's people they're
Must have been
Going-
the Christmas.
they're going like this, going back.
Yes.
Steve, isn't February the big month though? When like we have the biggest meteor showers? Like
They're throughout the year. I mean, there's Perseus, Leonard's, Aquarius. There's a whole bunch of meteor showers throughout the year. I don't remember the times they have anymore.
Well, and that's something I never took the time to learn about. What is that, Steve?
What's a meteor shower?
Yeah, we're passing through a band of like asteroids.
What happens is what happens is you usually have a comet that comes around, and as that comet gets close to the sun, it starts having the outgassing, and it starts basically having little particles coming off of it. So after it's gone around the sun, you have this path of particles that are left, and it does that all the time, and you build up these bands of particles. So as the Earth moves through these bands of particles, they hit the Earth. That's what we're seeing as a meteor shower.
Or
That's why they're so predictable, because we're actually literally passing through the path of where a comet had gone through.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never knew that. I just assumed we were going through like a band of small little meteors or asteroids or whatever they're called. When
No,
they're in space.
it's dust particles from a comet that has gone around and round and round and round.
So
Speaking
what is
of
it?
meteors and meteorites, I've actually got a D20 made of meteorite.
Oh, wow.
He has a meteorite.
Yes, I do. An Argentinian meteorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those
so
are
Ansgar, do you save that meteorite D20 for when you have to roll against like the god of the underworld, or
I save it for when I'm DMing so I can really just punish my players.
Okay.
Yeah, right in the forehead for some.
So if you got a player that's really into BDSM, that's what you do. You just punish them.
Yes.
So here's
I guess I'm into BDSM now. People have told me I didn't realize I was, but I guess.
Yeah, I saw that thread.
News to me.
Yeah. Here's what Chemo has to say about sipping the booze there, Steve.
Oh, I disagree. I love the flavor of certain brews. Like Scotch is a very specific flavor. So the other alcohols like tequila, I don't like the flavor.
See, I don't know. I guess because of my terrible youth, but it was just about how drunk you can get.
Yeah, I don't like getting drunk.
Taste it, even though you're just getting. I mean, because I'm kind of like in Puff's school, because to me, a rocks glass, which is a 4-ounce glass, a rocks glass is a shot glass for me.
Yeah, that's too much alcohol for me.
I don't drink a lot, mostly because I'm a lightweight and I'm not a very well-behaved drunk.
Yeah, you get smashed and you get crazy.
Well, I weigh 140 pounds. It theoretically shouldn't take a lot of alcohol for me to get drunk.
Here we go. I have a little thing that was sent to me in the mail the other day. So this actually tells you how much, based on your body weight. How much you say you were?
140.
All right, so 140. One shot would be 0.04, which is below the legal limit for a male. 2 shots, you're at 0.09. You're legally drunk.
I was gonna say, I think ours is 0.0.
You're 0.09.
Ours is like 0.05. I'm in Iowa, so it's even more.
Yeah, so you'd be legally drunk after 2 shots.
Yeah.
Well, here's what you do is forego a few drinks this week and go to the video description and hit that link for the Odinsons GoFundMe. They need the community's help. As I said, they've gotten a lot of help so far that they're appreciative for, but they still have a ways to go to get to their goal. Please go hit that link and help with what you can. And there's some really nice artwork and other prizes that are being raffled off to those that donate at a certain level or higher. And that's why we're here tonight. So please help all you can.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are a lot less stressed than you were.
Yeah, a lot less.
It sounds like it.
That actually goes. The credit goes to all the awesome people that have been keeping us sane.
Yeah. It's hard to be stressed when you spent like a marathon of days of talking to nothing but amazing
positive
people and laughing about shit, and you know what I mean.
I just think sanity is overrated myself, but whatever.
Well, how about this? We're still insane, but we're not stressed insane.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I will be hopefully less stressed in a couple weeks.
I hope so.
I'm going to humble brag once again. I'm flying down Sweet Heathen on the October 11th for a date. So
nice.
Humble brag.
Lucky dog, you. So Steve, besides the rum and coke thing tonight, you got anything in the near future coming up?
What do I got? Wow, I have no idea. Undoom wants to come on.
Cool.
He wants to come back. I was going to see if he wanted to come back tonight, but he didn't get back to me. I have. Well, you know what? I have an old actor that I'm trying to get to come on, but I'm going to kind of reserve that for if he actually ever shows up. But I haven't really done a lot of planning. We do the Caffeine Corner with Chesh every Mondays, where we just kind of catch up everybody with different things. I'm not going to be doing a lot of shows for the next couple of weeks. It's probably 2 a week. Then I'm going on vacation. But after that, then we got stuff planned. I'm taking a little bit of time back. I can't handle dumb at the moment. I really can't. And so I've just told people, if it's dumb, except for I had a prior engagement on Fight the Flat Earths, but
I was just going to say you were talking to flat earthers earlier.
I told them I was going to do that before I made that thing, so I couldn't back out of that. But for the most part, I don't want to deal with dumb. I just can't.
Yeah, that's so stupid of me too. Hey, you got anything else coming up? And then you just told me the other day that you're kind of backing away for a couple weeks and then taking a little vacay there.
Well, I guess I would
ahead.
ask it after you come back from hiatus, based on the terrible results of the math polls that you put up on Twitter. So many of us get them wrong. Are you gonna actually do more of the math streams when you come back? Like,
Brandon wants to do more math stuff. We're going to be talking one. We're going to probably do one on ring theory, and what's called Stiven sets. What's the difference between the set of rational numbers, real numbers, imaginary numbers, that kind of stuff. He also wants to do one on what was the other thing he wanted to do one on? Matrix theory. We want to do one on matrix theory, which would be nice. Very simple linear transformations. But yeah, a lot of people have been asking math stuff. But you know what? They don't get many views. They're like the least watched. But
I have a request though. I would like for you or bring you or whoever you would bring on to talk about this. I would like a short little explanation video of how there can be different sized infinities.
Cardinalities, yeah, sure. That's the other thing. He wanted to talk about cardinalities, alpha null, and different how one cardinality is higher infinity than another cardinality, like using Cantor's proof and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll do a video on that.
Yeah, because that's one thing I cannot wrap my head around. I mean,
So
orders of infinity are not easy.
before we go tonight, you guys want to see a really cool rock?
yeah.
This is natural Chinese calcite that glows. Let's see if you can see the glow. Let's see if I can get it to really charge. It comes from China. It's calcite and it glows.
So it's not luminescent. It like takes you have to kind of light it up.
Here, love. Bring it back here.
Turn
Well,
around.
let's see.
You got the bright side.
Oh
there.
yeah, I could see it a little bit when you pull it back.
Yeah, it's one size brighter than the other. It's luminous.
Yeah,
go.
yeah. It absorbs light and re-radiates it, and it's quite. Can you imagine though being one of the first people before the age of science to discover something like that?
Magic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
It's
you know
so,
what? Still do it now.
well, of
it's-
course.
and it's so funny that how many things through the course of history that were thought to be magic that finally got the natural explanation, so
Yep.
it's kind of odd that people still want to take unknown quantities and attach supernatural explanations when history, proves that to be faulty thinking, because all of the things that were thought to be supernatural in the past, and now we know they are not.
Or like when the Mormons got all the genetic testing done to prove that the American Indians were the lost tribe that came over the water, and it proved that they weren't. They said, no, you don't understand. It's a matter of faith.
Yeah.
I remember that actually. That was when they were trying to check for the neophytes and the Lamanites and.
Yep. Well, it's so funny because they were the ones that wanted the scientific studies to
They
prove.
knew it was going to prove them right.
Right, but then suddenly science doesn't matter once it's not on their side.
I was Mormon, and I had to take a hard look at that too, and I had to come to
You
the
were?
realization.
I didn't know you were Mormon too.
Yeah, baptized Mormon when I was 17.
Damn.
Yep.
Another one.
I read the Book of Mormon like 3 times. But I being objective, I look at the archaeological evidence, and contrary to Hugh Nibley or anybody else, there's the same type of apologist. I mean, it's just the evidence is not there, and I have to be I had to be objective back when, but I also left the church for other reasons. But
I was raised Mormon. I was there the whole time growing up.
Oh,
so
wow.
do you remember Hugh Nibley? Do you remember the apologist? Yeah, and McConkie, when he wrote Mormon Doctrine. But see, the thing is, they really do believe, and I hate when people use the term cult when it comes to Mormonism, because my experience as a California Mormon, they weren't bad people. As a matter of fact, there's nothing cultish I saw about it whatsoever.
Growing up, even in California, I'd have to argue that.
That you didn't see it, or you did see it?
I did see, and it depends on where in California you are and how
Orange
long
County.
you've been in it.
Orange
I
County.
was gonna say I saw it a lot in Vegas and Boulder City. You can't even get a job in government unless you're.
That was Utah. Utah was like that.
No, the further you get into the boonies, the more cultish it becomes.
Well, that's why you get the FLES and stuff like that. Yeah, that might be true. I can't just.
Yeah, that's the standard Mormons are the same.
But in the city type, like the more, far away from the old school type, because a lot of them will, like in Utah, it's a lot more old school by far. But but my experiences weren't bad at all. But again, the historical accounting doesn't match up. The Book of Abraham doesn't match up. There's just a lot of discrepancies. You have to recognize that. So what you said, Growley, was pretty much exactly what the apologists would say. Well, it's a matter of faith at this point, rather than, well, why didn't the evidence match as it's supposed to match?
Right.
Well, that's because the adversary had his hand in it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah. He changed the results.
Well, the LDS Church, the numbers have gone down tremendously. It used to be had about 2 or 3% growth rate annually. That's down to like point something, which is for the LDS is huge compared to what it was in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
So there has been a huge drop in the rate of growth. Now they're still growing, but their growth rate has been substantially going down every single year.
Well, they say reproductive rates do drop off after several generations.
Well, one of the things now they recognize that they have that drop in growth rate. Now they will give you a completely full ride in college at BYU if you complete a mission.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard that.
But there's major problems with those. In fact, during the missions, it used to be you could only call home twice a year. They had such high suicide rates among the missionaries. They had to
they're a lot of things. Yeah,
they had to let them have a little more contact with their family.
We corrupted.
Wait a minute. What's the rationale for that? Why would they only want you to call?
What's your focus on your mission?
They want you to focus.
They isolate you.
Yeah.
No TV, no communication of any kind.
No.
It's crazy.
You're supposed to eat dinner every night with a different church member family. You can't be visiting with anyone unless you're giving a lesson. It's really
Very controlled.
Yeah, this is where I would say it is very cult.
Well, for the Mormon, for the missionaries, there's an argument to be had there. For the regular member like myself, I found nothing culture. They didn't. I got to do what the hell I wanted. They didn't care.
I would say you had a very different experience than I did then, and you were lucky to have it. Yeah,
I mean, my neighbors I knew since I was like 6 years old. I grew up with them as second family, and I had one of the brothers come visit me like a year ago that I still keep in touch with. So I mean, I'm very, very close to them. But even he recently, it was funny because he's been Mormon all his life,
right?
And he visited me, and I hadn't seen the guy in just a long time. I mean, 2 decades. I don't know, but a very long time. But we kept in touch. But it was strange because he wasn't as heavily invested in the church as he used to be, as far as giving a damn if it's actually true or not. Because he was like, I don't know if it's true or not anymore, but I live that it is, and it's no big deal to me one way or another. And I was like, but I want to know what's true. I want to know. I mean, I like to know things that are true, but I understood his position. I mean, he's raised his family that way and blah blah blah. But he didn't really sound like he cared one way or another whether it's true any longer. Because he saw some problems in the church too. He definitely agreed with me when it came to the Prop 8 in California in 2008. He hated the fact that the church was doing everything they could do to try to stop gay marriage and conversion therapy, because Evergreen International was funding electroshock therapy and conversion therapy for that. That I couldn't stand. That to me, and the guy that started that. Not necessarily Evergreen International, but one of the advocates for conversion therapy and electroshock therapy, he's now come out as gay, and he's renounced that whole type of treatment. So,
gee, I wonder why.
I was vindicated on that because I couldn't stand that. I was like, how is the church supporting this?
One of the things that they have that I find very cult-like is in Utah, in Salt Lake City, they have a department that they call the Member Locators Department that's full of private detectives and things. And when people go off the grid, they become inactive. They separate themselves from the church. They send these people out to their house, to their friend's house, to try to track them down, to pull them back into the church. I've had it
Yeah,
happen
I've
to
seen
me.
that. Yeah, no, that is true. Those
Very creepy.
they're called when the members fall. Why they're called? They're not apostates, but they're
Inactive.
inactive. Yeah, just inactive LES. And so they try to get the inactive LES to become active again.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sounds like Mormonism and Scientology have the same business plan.
Scientology is much worse. See, I see
In some
the
ways.
term.
Scientology literally puts people on house arrest.
I will always, this is subjective, right? I will always believe subjectively a Mormon's not a cult, because I use that term for very specific things, because a cult, Heaven's Gate, Jonestown, Manson's, these are things that we recognize to be cult. And for me to have that word have any kind of real meaning, that's what I'm going to use the term cult for. Because if I apply the term cult loosely, as like a lot of people do, it not just applies to Mormons and Jehovah's Witness and Scientology, but it also applies to Catholics. It also applies to Jewish. It also applies to all of them, because the bare form of cultism is basically formal venerable worship. So anything that has any kind of worship to it in a formal venerable type setting could be construed as a cult. So it loses all meaning at that point. Because I mean, I've been to a Catholic church that's more cult-like than the Mormon church I went like. It was bizarre.
How is it that you? It wasn't until you were 17 you ended up being part of the Mormon Church.
I had been around it for a long time because I was a Boy Scout. I was not an Eagle Scout, but I was a step below that. I was Life Scout. I didn't make it to Eagle. You have to make it before your 18th birthday. But and I went in the military. But I was around it for a long, long time. I had no interest in it whatsoever, but I was exposed to it because the Boy Scouts is intricately related to the LDS Church, at least in my area. I think it's most areas. Okay, so it's pretty ubiquitous then. And so you had a lot of dealings with the church, but it wasn't until 17 where I took the Mormon lessons. I met a girl that was Mormon that I fell in love with. I had an experience that I thought was a spiritual experience, and I got baptized. She doesn't like me now, though, but that's she's on my Facebook.
And Growley, you said that you came out of Mormonism, or do you identify as an atheist now, or
Yes.
not an atheist?
Oh,
And,
she's like hardline atheist.
So would you identify yourself as an anti-theist, Growley?
Probably. I think pretty much all religion is damaging.
And how about you, Odinson? Were you a believer at one point?
I was very loose, non-denominational Christian. I can look back all my life. I never really believed. It was all just kind of rote. It was cultural. You know what I mean? And I always made up kind of excuses and stuff. The only thing I can say I honestly believed, and it was more out of fear than anything else, is I believed in the immortality. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and I still kind of miss that feeling of immortality a little bit. But no, I slowly came to it's an interesting story, actually. Writing, I'm writing comic books, and one of the ways that we write these characters is through like tabletop role playing, and we've actually created a world for our comic and everything. And I had to create characters with diverse and vast sets of views, all the way from believers to complete anti-theist unbelievers. And when I started writing these conversations and having the conversations between the characters in my head, the more and more I did this, the more and more I realized that the characters that I was writing that were anti-theist and atheist made more sense to me. Like I was having my own dialogues in my own heads and convinced, and like these characters, these fictional characters that I made up out of my own imagination were convincing me.
And then we would stop playing and we would talk about the stuff back and forth and these ideas. And
yeah, I talked myself out of religion.
Well, that was just the devil whispering in your ear, man.
That totally was.
How about you, Puff? Were you religious at one time, or are you still?
No, well, it was kind of complicated. So, like, when I grew up, like, basically, I had some really bad instances with a bunch of different churches, and to me, it all seemed kind of like a scam, like the church side of things. And then I had an opportunity to get out of the streets, and I went to Georgia, and my brother was had fell heavily into like I guess like Southern Baptist way of going to church, stuff like that, right? Doing church study and Bible study, and like we had to read Psalms every day before we or a proverb every day before we go into work. Like we were forced to participate in Bible study in the car, and and it basically it projected into like a small like family. I hate to say it, Steve, but it was a cult because he controlled every aspect of my life, how I spent my money, who I hung out with. What's that?
Doesn't all religion do that for the most part?
No. This wasn't religious based. I mean, it was like he used religion to do it, but it was like him doing it. You know what I mean? It was behavior, like who I hung out with, what I did in my time, what I did for entertainment, who I contacted online. Everything was controlled. Who came over to my house, who I hung out with, everything. How I spent my money, everything. So then ended up meeting my wife. She's still pretty religious. She's Baptist, Southern Baptist, but she's like a healthy version of religion, like where she doesn't push it on people. She's like, if you have your religion, that's fine. I'm going to keep my religion and I'm going to operate the way I do, but I'm not going to expect you to operate based on my religion.
I got no problem with that.
She doesn't push it on me. I don't push it on her. I don't like make fun of her religion in her face or whatever, like rub it in. She doesn't try to convert me on a daily basis. You know what I mean? So, it turned out to be good.
Would that it were that all religious people conduct themselves in that manner. Hey, I know Steve has got something coming up here in 20 minutes on the Steve McRae channel. And he has invited the Odinsons to join him. So I think we should probably wrap this up now. Again, Maddie just said her goodnights a few moments ago and posted the link in the live chat one more time. The link to the GoFundMe is also in the video description. And for anybody watching this, as a video in the near future, please click on that link and help them out all you can. Help out your fellow community members.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Really, the community is. They're just you guys are getting us through it. Thank you.
Glad to help.
Our pleasure. And any final words, Puff?
Yeah, I'll leave y'all with the. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll leave you guys with a random fact here. Okay. So next time you go out with your friends, anybody that's watching this, you can impress your friends, right? Say you go to a hotel and you're waiting for the elevator, right? There's multiple elevators. You push the button, but there's only one button for multiple elevators. You can look like a boss. Okay. So if you're listening for the elevator, here's the key, right? They make a sound depending on where they're going, because it's ADA compliance. So if you're waiting for an elevator that's going up, you're listening for the elevator that dings once when it arrives. Ding! And if you're waiting for an elevator that's going down, you're waiting for an elevator that dings one long and one short. Ding! Ding! And that's your down elevator. So next time you don't even have to look for you don't have to be looking for the error or anything. You can look like a boss and you know where you're going.
That is
And, Steve, any final words?
No, I'm going to be using Skype tonight probably. So I got most of you people that are going to join. I'm just going to have them call up. I'll bring them as an NDI and go from there tonight. It'll probably be easier.
So that's why
Skype. Yeah.
That's why the eyeballs were scanning back and forth for the last several minutes. You were setting things up for 10 o'clock, weren't you?
I got two screens. Yeah.
Steve, the multitasker. And you can find me here again next Saturday night. Not sure what we'll be doing, but I'll come up with something as I always do. I always seem to wait till the last few days beforehand to figure something out. I hadn't really figured anything out. I was going to, supposedly there was a couple Trump supporters that were going to come on tonight, but that never panned out. And I was sitting around wondering what I was going to do tonight. And then Nick got a hold of me and I said, hell yeah, let's do this. And when I DM'd Steve, that's pretty much how he responded. Hell yeah, I'll be there for that.
Thank you.
So look for me here next Saturday. I'll be on Nakasuchi's channel on Wednesday, A Raging Atheist. Episode 5 of The Amateur Conversationalist is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And let's give the final word to the Odinsons.
Thank you, everybody who's helped, even if it's just been a retweet or a a kind word, that it has made the world for us. We have hope. We are over halfway to our goal. We are certainly looking forward to this move, and we're certainly looking forward of ways to pay this one forward. So thank you, really.
And remember, if a rock is ever talking to you, see a therapist.
And I said I'd give them the final word, but I just want to answer in live chat. Yes, the raffle is still happening. Click on that link in the video description. They will be doing the drawing. You said later tonight.
Basically, right now there are still YouTubers who are coming in and saying, "Hey, I want to do a slot or whatever," right? Okay. And so at the end of this long marathon, when I finally get to sleep, we're going to go over to my channel and we're going to have all of the raffle drawings. And
okay, so it could still be going on for a couple days then.
Probably not a couple days. It'll probably be sometime late tonight. I think things are getting pretty finalized, but it'll be later tonight, or if not early in the morning. And you don't have to be present to win. We will find ways of contacting you.
If it weren't counterproductive, I'd want to bid on some of the stuff in there because it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, go check that out, folks. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. And
we'll see you in a few. I'm gonna get going. I'll see you guys over there in a few. Okay.
See ya.
See ya.
Hey, Steve. See you later.